zokonza mwina zinyalala kuti zinyalala zimene zamazigwiritsa ntchito bwanji komanso kuti ali ndi njira zotani zokonza zinyalala zimene zikuzipangatu kukhala munjira ina imene zitha kugwiranso ntchito komanso zija pa Chingereza amati renewable energy imene ili njira imene amati yambwezera makamaka ija anthu amati mwina chitsanzo chabe sola kugwiritsa ntchito mphamvu ya dzuwa zinthu ngati zimenezi komanso zanthirira zimenezi akhaletu akugwira ndithu achinyamata amenewa ndipo pano ndikusiyeni m'manja mwa amene akuyendetsa ndithu mwambo umenewu. Let me now hand you back to the FAP organizers as the launch of the Youth Action for Green Agro-enterprises project is being launched here at Crossroads Hotel.
I'm the country director for Agro-enterprise and Agribusiness Partnership in Malawi. And it is my great honor to welcome you all. When I walked into this room earlier on, a lot of you were already here, and I was quite impressed by the diverse number of participants. And we sent out a lot of invitations, and I think most of them were honored. And for that, we are truly grateful. We are embarking on a very exciting journey. I will not preempt a lot about the program. I'll preempt about AFAP because it's about AFAP and its program. So we are embarking on a very exciting journey, a journey that started, the donors came last year, but the journey for AFAP probably started maybe 5 years ago when we realized how important working with the youth is. And I would say for a lot of the partners that have worked with us, and even from the introductions that you have had, we have a lot of young people. Always looking for an opportunity for someone to come on board and expand the work that we are doing with these young people. So I'm glad that Agro came on board under the Youth Entrepreneurship for the Future of Agriculture. It's called YAGA. It's a long-term program that is funded by MasterCard, but as AFAP, we are very honored to be part of that program. So to have you here this morning, I was just saying to my colleague Priscilla that there are no protocols observed because I think we have to hit the ground running. So youth work requires you to hit the ground running. If you start to YAGA and say, let's wait for so and so, we are not going to get anything done. So apologies for not having any protocols observed. We are the protocol. All right. So without much further ado, I'll just briefly go into what AFAP is. And a lot of you know. So AFAP is a continental organization. We are firmly rooted in the development of agriculture in Africa. We are in these countries. In some of the countries we go, we work, we come back. I think 2024 or 2025 we were in Rwanda for something. We came out, we've gone into another country, we come up. But these countries in the deep colors are where we know that we actually have roots. And it doesn't look like we're going to be living anytime soon. So we are a non-profit social enterprise that collaborates with the private sector, which is why you see a lot of you here are actually private sector entities. Our mission is to be an effective catalyst of agriculture productivity in Africa. And we realize that those solutions have to come from within. And from within means, my brothers and sisters, you and I. I'm sure with the shake-up of the world that happened last year, you know that the solutions are going to have to come from us. So as AFAP, our mission is to ensure that private sector solutions reach smallholder farmers at scale, in good time, and in prices and understanding that the smallholder farmers can absorb. So this is why we are here. Primarily, we work in, I think if you can go to the next slide. Oh, yeah. Primarily, we work across these 3 strategic units. We used to have more, but intentionality is a very big word that we have had to live according to. Otherwise, when you try to do everything, sometimes you end up actually doing nothing. So we work across these 3 distinct strategic units. And for Malawi, I think the strongest is around market development services. So in market development services, this is where we focus on agribusiness and market development. Why agribusiness? Malawi employs, I might be wrong, but maybe more than 85% of the labor force in the country. I mean, agriculture employs more than 80%. So there is a business case to make sure that investments are intentionally put along market development. So if you look at all the products that you're coming up with, products that are geared towards increasing agricultural productivity, products that are geared towards increasing maybe absorption of solutions by smallholder farmers. Us as AFA will work with you to ensure that those solutions, whether it's recycling of organic waste into fertilizer, whether it's solar-powered energies in the agriculture space, and solar-powered is not just irrigation. My sister told me last year there's a bigger vision to have solar-powered, cold chain storage. Solar-powered pretty much a lot of things. Whether it's converting, whether it's making Tokyo age fertilizer, which is, they were explain when you do the, what you call it, when you do the pavilions, but they're making fertilizer out of things that I didn't know could make fertilizer. But how do we get farmers to understand what we're trying to do? Because farmers are very risk averse. So as long as we are not doing market development services, our very good solutions end with us, the thinkers, because I heard some chief executives and founders, and representatives of chief executives and founders. So if our solutions are not reaching farmers in languages that they understand, in their own space, in their own localities, then we miss out on a big chunk of productivity. We also do project feasibility and due diligence as AFAB. Someone can have a very good solution, but if that solution does not make sense for Malawi, it's simply not going to be taken up. Whether it's a solution that actually saves lives, we've seen a lot of people in some communities that use mosquito nets to cover vegetable or whatever. Like, you think everyone knows that malaria is a very deadly disease, right? But to them, their vegetables are more important. So it means there are some solutions that need a lot of, for us to keep talking to farmers and talking to the people that we serve, for them to understand the importance of this. We also work around market entry strategy. So market entry strategy is where we typically have maybe a solution that has been created in India or another country, or maybe, like as we speak, our team in Uganda is speaking to the Bayer team because they need a market entry strategy for Uganda Bayer. So rather than Bayer just, of course you're already working in Uganda, but you need more insight. How can you reach your smallholder farmers? So AFAP also comes in there to help you design how do you penetrate the market. Maybe there's a specific niche, you know that you can't reach everybody, but there's a specific way or specific numbers of people that you want to reach. So we also help there. We help with industry analysis, and sometimes there are even discussions that Kumbukan and I have had with partners that we know no money is ever going to be exchanged. We just say, let's just sign a non-disclosure agreement. We give you intelligence, you say thank you, AFAP, we part ways. So in a nutshell, for Malawi in particular, this is what we're mainly focusing on. But elsewhere, but also maybe in Malawi to some extent, we also do trade credit guarantee provision. I know those that work with, I think with Bayer as well, we've done it with agro-dealers, also some off-takers to assist them to get credit guarantees from our financial institutions. I know later on, I think we're already joined by Standard Bank. We have worked with financial institutions to ensure that agriculture suppliers have got the necessary financial muscle that they need. I will not preempt because I think financial capacity is also one of the questions that is going to be tackled. Corporate financing, we also work along those lines, asset finance support, and VSLA support. Because we have to meet the needs of Malawi, and there's pretty much everyone is in banking only. So you can imagine now people in the villages, this is how they survive on. This is what they survive on. Then we are also into policy development services, but mostly we try to work with the gurus, which is why you see Mwapata is here, because we know that we can't write as well as they can. Our English is kind of challenged. But we do work in policy analysis and development support so that we can also influence we can also influence policy making at the top. We do fertilizer and agribusiness policy dialogues, and again, market development, but from a policy perspective. Our methodology. I'll not speak much on what's there, but I don't know if this diagram is clear. I wish I had a point. So we start there with agro-input suppliers, like yourselves. People that are working in manufacturing, people that are coming up with solutions targeted at smallholder farmers. So we start, they are there, and they want to reach the smallholder farmers. How do I point it? Not a point. Okay, the smallholder farmers are pretty here. Okay, where there's a red line. But if there's no catalysm in between, the manufacturers are going to keep manufacturing very good things that will struggle to reach smallholder farmers. So to help build these distribution networks, we then work with hub agro dealers. We support the hub agro dealers with extension officers. I'm sure you've seen that whole corner there. AFAP's extension officers, and these are not the typical extension officers that we're used to. Ours are trained, they've been sharpened by iron. At the same time, they can sit in this platform and get information from you. They can also sit down with the farmer and help give them the benefits of, what's that seed, the yellow one? The yellow fleshed, Maziko? Yes, they can sell the benefits of that. So in doing so, we are ensuring that that agro-input supplier can have their product reach farmers where they are needed. So all in all, what we're trying to do is ensure that there's catalyzed movement of goods from agriculture input suppliers to smallholder farmers. But then we've also realized that even the smallholder farmers are now starting to be more organized. So we work in organizing them, ensuring that your solutions, because sometimes it doesn't make sense to come up with a very big solution and then go all the way and only meet 5 farmers. So we organize them, we ensure that even when we're aggregating, or even when they're farmed and they've harvested, their produce can also be easily aggregated. All this, we are really doing it to improve agriculture development in Africa, and in particular, Malawi. So this has been my overview for AFAP. I will now, I think, call upon my colleague Baba to represent now what this project is about, where we are looking at youth action for green enterprises. It's called YAGA, and you can already see that it's a project name and a project that is run by youth, because I'm sure someone was thinking of YAGA Meister, but they just said, okay, well, let's just end at YAGA, but it's all right. So without much further ado, I'll invite Baba. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Margaret. Normally, the first name was Yaza. I think everyone knows what Yaza is, right? But I call you Yaza. That means that person is very intelligent, a genius. So, because we had to put some green somewhere, just to highlight what we're doing, that's why we had to put a G, not a Z. Okay? Yeah, so, but in case you have some farmers, we call them Yazas. Yeah, so, right, so I know everyone here works in the agricultural segment, so I will not stretch much, but I think almost everyone of us know that we are facing a challenge which is called climate change. We've seen floods in Kota, and we've seen dry spells in 2024 and 2025. And we also have high unemployment youth. I mean, high employment among the youth. International Labour Organization in 2021 says that in Malawi only, the number is at least 7% for young people, and that was 2021. And for the whole Malawi, it's around 21% to 28%. So, to solve these two challenges, which is climate change and high employment rate, we thought about coming with a project which can employ youth. At the same time, it can solve this climate change issue. So that's why we are introducing green jobs. So when we are saying green jobs, these are jobs that are there to mitigate or sequestrate the climate, the carbon that companies or agriculture or any sector, what we want to do is to make sure that there is few carbons that are going up there. We want to minimize the environmental effects that we are already facing. Now, our goal for this project is to create 10,000 jobs. So these are jobs an individual has to be on the job, and that is our goal. And our project is running from this year up to next year. And we have two pillars or two objectives that we'll be working on. And the first one is to equip youth with certified green skills. So we want our youth to have the skills that you already have here as our partners. And we want to align them to the market, because we can teach them to make briquettes, we can teach them to make organic fertilizer, we can do a franchisee with Tokyo 8, but they need to have a market. So that is one of the things that we want to do. And again, we know that there is a challenge when it comes to standards. You are making fertilizer, what is the standard? If you are into recycling, what are the rules that are there? What kind of certification that you need? Okay, so that is our first objective. Our second objective is about accelerating youth-led green enterprises through competitive grants, fishing platforms, market linkages, structured industrial attachments, and private sector partnership. And that is why we are here. Because we know that we can't link our youth to the market when the market is not there, when the market is not with us. So that's why we are here. I know some of you are the market for these young people. I also know that some of you already are there and you can offer a place for a young person to come and have experience. So these are two objectives. The project will be implemented in almost 11 districts. So there is Zimba, Ilongwe, Cheu, Kinjidoa, Salima, Kotakota, Kadabe, Deza, Kasumu, and Lopi. So these are the main districts that we'll start with, but maybe we might expand to Machinga, Zomba, and Mangosh. Now, how are we going to get these jobs? So we'll get them through these 5 pathways. We are calling them 5 pathways. So we have renewable energy. I think during the roundtable panel, we'll have some discussion that will touch on all these pathways. We have climate smart agriculture and agroforestry. We have water use efficiency. We have waste management and organic fertilizer production. I think there are a lot of you who are already into waste management and organic fertilizer production. But again, there is also a very important industry that is coming up, which is called green construction and bamboo industry. Glad that Fred is here with CJ Power. They'll show us what it means, what is it that we are trying to do to come about with green construction. Now, we'll just highlight some few activities that we'll be doing that are very important for this project to be a success. So we'll set up 500 peer learning hubs. These will be hubs where you will come together and they'll learn from each other. And that is why we need some of you, maybe you may as well offer a place for those youth to be meeting in your companies or in your presses or your warehouses, just to have those skills, to learn those skills. Then also conduct a 3-month intensive training for 10,000 youth, because as we said, we want to train them and they have to be trained into green skills. But again, we'll facilitate a merit-based youth green business pitching competitions, awarding seed grants to the best proposal in green ventures. So we know that we can teach them, or maybe we can as well expose them to the industry through attachments, through internship, but at the end of the day, they need to start. And that's why we have this activity whereby we award some capital. Not much, but it's small, just to kickstart and start running. Again, we facilitate mobile certification clinics, bring inspectors to youth enterprises. So for these mobile clinics, we have regulators. We know for all those 5 pathways, there are different regulators. Of course, maybe one of them that is almost everywhere is the Malawi Bureau of Standards. So we'll have some clinics mobile. We'll be going around those districts with people from the Malawi Bureau of Standards and any other regulatory body that is there. Those people who are in fertilizer. Of course, for now we don't have a regulating fertilizer board, but we have the scientists from Kitese. So they'll come around and see our products and help us on the standards and show us how we can become registered. We can have the certificates in our businesses. Again, we provide shortlisted youth with business financial modeling and investor engagement training paired with private sector mentors. So to some of you who are here, I think we had some talks. We want our youth to have real, or what we call, exposure. So that's why we want to pair these young people to some of you who are already there, who are already doing the things, so that they can know where is the market, so that they can know how do you talk to a customer, how do you enter a new market. So they need all those skills, and this cannot be learned in the 3 months that maybe we have proposed, but they can get hands-on experience through private sector mentors, but again, investor engagement trainings where we have investors that want to invest maybe in organic manure and business financial modeling. I know one of the big challenges when it comes to us young people is knowing how to handle finances in our companies. So that is also a big thing that we want to work on, to make sure that when they are starting, they should be able to know the company money and their personal money, and how can they move forward with their business to make a profit. Yeah, the other activity that we'll be doing is to attach 1,000 young people to private sector for internships. As we said, I think I've emphasized this one. We also want to develop an online green work opportunity portal that is linked to the training data that we have. But again, we'll make sure that some of you who work with us here should also be on this online green job atlas. So in simple terms, this is a website where maybe we put, for example, YAGA there. We put a profile of YAGA so that if someone needs some solution to do with water, to do with irrigation, they'll easily go there and see what they are looking for. The products, the services, the profile of a person, the skills that they have in case they are looking for a job or they are looking for a market. So this is a platform where investors might access, those who are already in business, they will access it to use it as a market. For those who are looking for jobs, that also be another platform for them as well to sell their skills so that employers can employ them. Then we also establish partnership between youth and buyers, takers, and financial institutions. I think there is Standard Bank that we are working with. For market linkages, I think there are many markets here. As we go on, as we interact during lunch and the break, those markets, we see those markets. I think we work with takers, so we have a lot of work with takers. As for the private sector, I think it's all of you who are here. The next slide. Now, what are the results that we want to have in 2027 by the end of this project? Is to have 10,000 young women and men gaining work opportunities in agriculture. Then we also want to have the platform that I was saying, the online platform, the digital atlas. Then again, we want to enhance the employability and visibility of 10,000 youth. So this will be done through the digital atlas that we are saying. We want to make sure that they are visible, the skills, their businesses. We want to make sure that they are visible so that they can have a market, as well for those who just have training, those who want to be employed, so that they can be employable. Then again, we will launch or scale up 300 green businesses. Then again, we'll make sure that 500 youth generate sustainable incomes, 400 youth enterprises get certification, as I was talking about the Malawi Bureau of Standards. Then again, we want to make sure that for all these youth that we are working with, especially those that are in business, their sales should increase by 30%. So these are the results that we want to achieve by the end of this project, and believe that you have seen them, and I believe that for us to achieve these results, I know the numbers might seem small, but they are not that very small, because we are talking of job creation. And when we are talking about job creation, AGRA stresses that if someone says I'm employed, they should be able to earn at least a minimum wage. So if they're in business, if they're producing organic manure, if, for example, maybe they have procured a solar dryer from Mr. Tukul there, they should be able to dry and have maybe offer services of drying and make a minimum wage per month. So if we say 10,000 and all those people earning a minimum wage per month, that's a big number. And that's why we need to work together to make sure that we reach our targets. We have our youth employed, and well as resolving or restoring the environmental degradation that is there. Otherwise, this is all about the project, and this is the whole presentation. Thank you. Okay. Maybe I can open the floor for questions or comments before we proceed to the next program, or the presentation or about AFA program.
Yeah. I am Anne Zidana, working with the Food Agriculture Organization. I think I've got some few areas that I need maybe some clarification from AFAP. Thank you so much, AFAP, for coming with this initiative in Malawi, because we know that one of the issues that is affecting agriculture is the issue to do with low productivity. But in your opening remarks, I heard that you are working with through the private sector, but haven't heard anywhere whereby you have talked about issues to do with working with the government through the Ministry of Agriculture. I just need a clarification on that one. And also for the YAGA, thank you so much that you are trying to make sure that you are solving the challenge of climate change, which is affecting Malawi as a country, and also the issue to do with unemployment amongst the youth. And one of the areas that you have clarified is that you are going to target, I think I just browsed through about 11 districts in Malawi. I just wanted to find out what was the criteria that you used in order to select the 11 districts out of the 28. And also, you have said that you are targeting to reach out to about 10,000 youth in Malawi. So on this one, you have said that you are going to reach out to men as well as women. What is the proportion percentage? Is it 60% women, 40% men, or what will be the proportion like? And also, what will be the criteria in terms of selecting these youths into the 10,000 category? And also, I've heard you talking about provision of capital to the youths. I just wanted to find out how you are going to provide this capital. Of course, somehow, I heard, I think Madam Margaret talked about grants. Will the grants be in forms of matching grants, or it will be just grants providing them to the youths? And yeah, I think for now, these are all the only areas that I need some clarification Thank you, and over.
Do I look like I can take all the questions? All right, I'll take the ministry one. Yeah. So thank you so much, and I think it was. I should apologize for not maybe mentioning, but by virtue of us working in this space, all our work is targeted at supporting the government of Malawi to meet its goals. Not just the 2063, but the year in, year out goals of food security, of improved agriculture development. So we have done a lot of work in line and in support of government. I think as maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we would support even the AIP, the government subsidy program. From the time it was the subsidy program to the time it was AIP, we have worked with the Ministry of Agriculture hand in hand to support that process. I think in 2022, is it? We assisted that particular program to ensure that the fertilizer that came through the Morocco donation, was blended by the Malawi Fertilizer Company. It's areas of work where AFAC was very actively involved. I think these 3 young people that you see were actually based at Liwonde, ensuring that certain standards were met and so forth. But apart from that, because we are African Fertilizer and Agribusiness Partnership, a lot of our work primarily or initially revolved around fertilizer value chains. So because of that, we are actively involved in domestication of the African Fertilizer and Soil Action Plan. We are working with Mwapata, particularly focusing on the private sector part, because that's our strength, of how can we get soil health solutions to be domesticated and be able to reach farmers at scale. So we are actively involved in that work. In 2024, we started the inaugural Malawi Soil Health Expo and Training, where in partnership with the Department of Land Resources, we trained all the district land resource officers to ensure that they are equipped. And this was just after the African the Soil Health Summit in Nairobi. So we worked and we are still working with the Department of Land Resources to just see how can we improve soil management at district level, and of course that trickles down to the different EPAs and so forth. I think I'll leave the technical guys to respond to the other question. Maybe Kumbukani?
Let me start maybe with the districts. Yeah, so for district, I think the YEFA, that is AGRA, is focusing on 10 districts. So we selected 11, we elect 4, and normally they factorize them into ADDs. So there is Mzuzu ADD, Ilongwe ADD, Kasubu ADD, Salima ADD, and Machine ADD. So for us, I think for now we are not going into Machine ADD, but we'll be focusing on this other ADD. Mainly the reason is because of the value chains that we are most comfortable working. I can specify some value chains, but because this is green, we are even going beyond the value chains that are there in these districts. So the criteria for selecting this district, we have mainly based on the value chains that AGRA said you need to work in. And I think for them, the very core value chains are maize, legumes, that is soya, and donuts. So they are mostly this, but for us we are even going beyond. And for this project, we are also vegetables, poultry, as you see now, for forestry, we are talking of trees. So we are covering almost all the value chains that are there. But for us, we just selected out of how we designed the project, we say these are the districts we are very much comfortable to make this impact. Yeah, so that is the best criteria that was there. But for the criteria of the 10,000 youth, so we are working with National Youth Council of Malawi. So we gave them a criteria to say we want people who are trainable. So that is the best criteria. Other criteria are there, but the best criteria is for them to be trainable. People who are willing to learn and who are willing to work. The other criteria that is there, because we follow the law of Malawi and we are talking of employment. So for us, for the age, we are starting with 18 to 35, because these are young. But for Malawi, when they say this is a young person, it's from 10 to 35. So because we are talking of employment, we said no, let's follow the labor laws. So we are starting with 18 up to 35. Again, maybe let me add on what Mike was talking about, the public sector. For this project, because it has to do with young people, we are working with youth officers. We are not working with, we are working with youth officers, but again, the environmental affairs department, because we are talking about the environment. We are talking about waste. So they'll be there. We can't offer, if I mean, Mike has already talked about the agriculture department, but because we're also talking about markets, there is also trade. So we're also working with the Ministry of Trade as well to implement this project. The question about the grants, maybe Karen can clarify.
I think as Mbukani is preparing to respond, let me take this opportunity to just welcome Bwana McLeod. I don't know if I need to allow him to introduce himself. He's from Agra and is a representative for the donor.
Okay, no, thank you. I didn't want to disrupt the meeting, but anyway, my name is McLeod Kaira from Agra, and I'm representing the focal person for this project, who is Richard Kaunga. I lead the inclusive markets, trade and finance component in Agra, Malawi. Thank you.
Initially, I think before you come, initially I'd said that we had no protocols to observe, but now we do. So allow me to introduce Honorable Fishani Nyondo, MP for Chitipa Central, who is a former member of AFAP. So I'll just allow.
I thought it's FAP day, so I was wearing my uniform. Oh, thank you. I'm Fishani Nyondo. Of course, I'm here as a FAP member, as a FAP family. Thank you for recognizing me.
Yes, I'm Monica Mwendo from Standard Bank. I'm here with my colleague, Joshua Masagano, agribusiness specialist. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So I think there was one part that has not been responded to on the ratio between male and female youth. So we're targeting 60% female youth and 40% male. So very gender sensitive. Yes. On the provision of capital, we may not necessarily call it capital, but under this project we're going to run a pitch competition where all these youths who actually pitch their business ideas, those that will be shortlisted, are going to compete for the very small grants that we have, just to get them started. So even if it means that small money will help them get their business registered or open a bank account or do certifications with the Malawi Bureau of Standards and the other regulators, then that be it. But it's a very small money just to get them started. But also most importantly, it's the instilling the pitching spirit in them, that they can go to any investor and pitch their business and possibly access some funding. Thank you. Yeah. We follow up. No. No, these are straight grants.
Whether in kind or in cash, no.
No.
So I'm saying, okay, fine. Maybe issues to do with sustainability there, I don't know if you looked at that, because if they are not contributing a little bit something in terms of in kind or in cash, then the issue of sustainability is going to be compromised on that one. Thank you.
No, thanks for that insight. It's not cast in stone. We can actually look into it and modify. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
the wonderful presentations and the detail of the project. Much has been clarified. I had several questions, but still they'll come up as follow-ups. I wanted to get clarity on the level of certification on the project in terms of the fertilizers or whatever is being produced from the youth. And knowing that in Malawi, sorry to say this, being a bureaucratic zone, things take time, and looking at the length of the project, we may not be really handy in what we anticipate. How swift are you on this one? And to what level of certification of the products are we intending to meet? On the model of the trainings, I had a chat with Baba before this, and just to highlight that, I was really convinced on the peer training, but now this is a kind of training that needs modulation, considering that people from different districts, and over the time, we have registered to be more traditional in practice in agriculture. And what is the role of AFAP in this type of training? And how consistent are we to ensure that the peers are not frequently training each other on the traditional basis of practices? Lastly, I haven't really heard much on the technology, save for the solar power systems. Considering that the direction that Malawi has taken at the times of the world, technology is really ultimate in business. And for these youth to sell their products, they need to have platforms where they can thrive through selling, advertising, and even meeting other stakeholders. Is there any deliberate initiative to meet this standard? Thank you.
All right, so I'll start and my colleagues will come in. Firstly, on the level of certification, I may not have understood the question clearly, but when it comes to organic fertilizers, certification is indeed a big issue. And we are very happy at EFAP to hear that the Malawi Bureau of Standards has actually developed the certification standards and procedures for organic fertilizers. And we are actually going to help with, drumming up and making sure that these standards are actually known by those that are in the industry and they actually comply. Because the Malawi Bureau of Standards also has certifications to do with the actual fertilizers that we know, urea, NPK, and whatnot. And they also say if you mix urea and any other whatever, it becomes a data-related fertilizer. But organics are actually mixing these mineral fertilizers with other organic materials. So is that a declaration? I think that's where they're coming in with the certification standards for organics. So we know exactly how much of the nutrients are there in a particular organic fertilizer product. So we'll be working hand in hand with Malawi Bureau of Standards. And then on the level, one of the activities, maybe Baba may not have mentioned it because we cannot go through all the activities. We're going to develop what we're calling a toolkit. So this toolkit is basically spelling and stipulating all the necessary certifications that one has to go through for the particular product that they're into. So if it's solar, if it's briquettes, if it's organic fertilizers, and you can name it, what are the certifications that are required for that particular product? Once we put together those, we know which institutions actually do the certifications, and then we can link these youths that we're going to train on this project to go through the certifications, and we're going to both handheld them until the certifications are actually done. And we know, as you indicated, Malawi is very bureaucratic, but that is why now we have government, like she indicated, that government actually has to be involved in this process right from the start, so that some of these bureaucracies can actually, cannot necessarily delay and derail the certification process, but also youth accessing these services. On the trainings, I did not get that question fully, so maybe my colleague did. So, or you can just repeat that question and then we can also check it.
The question around training was, what is the role of AFAP, if I got it correctly? On the question of training. But that one, Baba will take it. I'll take on the issue of technologies. So this is a 5 pathways to green jobs. And the first pathway is renewable energy, which is why you see organizations like Keno Power also represented here, WALA. Then the second one is climate smart agriculture and agroforestry. The third one is water use efficiency. So water use efficiency covers anything from irrigation to groundwater management to water conservation technologies. The fourth one is waste management and organic fertilizer production, which already you can see why Alpha has got a keen interest in this. And then the last one is green construction and bamboo industry. So you see these pathways, we could have selected 1 or 2, but we realized that they are actually interlinked. For you to do climate smart agriculture and agroforestry, someone is going to need to manage the water use issues, and vice versa. So we're looking at, we don't anticipate that 10,000 youth are going to become entrepreneurs and come up with solutions. Some of those youth, most of those youth will end up just working for the same institutions that are here, and that is okay. That is their job. Some will be creative enough to start things, but I also don't foresee that within the 2 years, someone can come up with a product, get it certified, and get it on the market and get their things going. That's a very ambitious goal, but it's a goal all the same, to get that youth to at least understand the processes that they need to do. So that's why, firstly, these pathways are interlinked, and then secondly, the issue of certification is also important, because you get people that make a lot of noise. Hey, my Bureau of Standards is not certifying my XYZ, but that thing is uncertifiable because it's toxic to the environment, it's toxic to people. So it's necessary that the youth that are expected to start, to come up with maybe cutting edge technologies, actually know the processes. Some will fail. Businesses fail all the time, and we already know that that's going to happen. But at least, even if they're going to fail, they should fail whilst knowing the process of starting things in the right way. Thank you. I think, Baba, I can take the training one.
All right. You were asking, I think, about the approach to train the youth. Yeah, so because I think she talked about sustainability. So for sustainability, our trainings will be conducted by the youth officers because they are already there. And after the project has phased out, they'll remain there. So that's why we are partnering with the government. The government, they have already been in the district and they'll always be there. But again, for how we do it, we engage some trainers, some companies, but as well the government, to train these officers. But again, for some other skills that maybe these officers can't do, then again we'll outsource some trainers. For example, your company, I think, because we already have a discussion, I can see that you're already into green construction. And maybe someone doesn't know it. That's when we need your services to do that. But again, because we are talking of sustainability, we are also having youth leaders. So these are already there. As I said, we're working with NIFO. They are already there. And these people are trainable and they are able to transfer the ideas to other young people. We also train them so that when they are meeting in their house, there should be someone who has the technical aspect of the pathway maybe that I've chosen, or maybe several of them. But there should be someone who can have an upper hand when it comes to the knowledge and the know-how for coming up with products or offering the services that they'll be offering. I hope I've answered your question. Okay, thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. I think a project in Diablo Wambile, it's one of the project which is feasible and at least maybe it has a potential maybe to yield at least maybe 95% of the expected outcomes of the program. But I want to emphasize that sometimes when we're having these green skills, because the context of green skill is so broad, we have got hundreds of green skills, and sometimes it becomes so difficult to quantify a green skill that is going to be profitable in certain communities. For instance, we're implementing a 3-year project known as a Local Green Innovation Champions Project, simple call it Logic Project. One of the green skill was cutting bottles into tumblers. And we've made a lot of noise on that. We have got hundreds that are doing those kind of initiatives, especially in the urban settings. But you find out that if we go into, for example, Tietsabango and Tietsitukula, we train the youth in Tietsabango in bottle cutting, in fire brigades, in composting, in organic fertilizer, in agroforestry, in chicken soup production. The same skill model, training them in Chitukula. But when it comes to the adoption, it differs. You found out that the green skill is mostly being used maybe in Sabango than Chitukula. Why? Because of the context of our community. So now when you're having this kind of the green skill trainings in the communities, based on service sometimes you might bank at the path aspect, not at the lower level. As much as my training zacha, yes, it has worked. Maybe 60% of my green skills I made a bank provide, they are not being adopted by the trained youth. Why? Maybe there was lack of tailor-made green skill training for those targeted youth. So I'm going to emphasize that. Then on aspect, NICOM is a very good institution. Command manager at the national level, and they have got a lot of projects in the Makala busy. If we are going to the community, let's utilize the district youth officer because he knows my active youth clubs in the community. You engage us, both definitely you engage, for example, NICOM. NICOM is going to recommend an active organization to that community. So if you engage YASID, YASID is also going to recommend my youth if you do Gana or Shido. Maybe the Duayo Sakurani. So we are going to the community and we didn't want to sustain the gains of the program strategically. Let's wait to the answer to our district youth office. It's the office meant to be undermined, but it's so effective when it comes to sustaining the gains in youth-related initiatives. I think one bit mango funding follows available. And lastly, I don't know the model of the trainings. For us, we use a spoke hub model, whereby we target specific or maybe active members of certain clubs. Could you train my members are we were just providing with very small materials. Could I train my members just as an aspect of motivation. So the members are not train 160, but 160 also train as my club member. And when we were going for the monitoring, I'm about as a club, commerce as individuals. So you have also had a multiply effect on the initiative. So no question, just a comment. Thanks.
Another quick comment on the certification. I think it's not just certification of the product, it's also on the business. I'm looking at helping the youth to have business certificates so that they can have opportunity to work in financial institutions, to access financial services from the banks. I see Standard Bank is here, so for them to work with those youth, they will need business certificates. So I would just wanted to add on that one.
I think my comment will build from what he said and what she said. For the multiplier effect, the matching, I would say maybe a suggestion would be that what they contribute is that once you're trained, you trickle the same to another. So that we're talking about sustainability, so that we move from just 10,000. And maybe for the training, yes, you've mentioned that you have experts, but I would say maybe engagement of data as well. Because we need not to just be looking from a sense where people can do it for Malawi level, but at a point also youth that can take it outside Malawi. I would also want to concur with him to say that reaching out to NICOM, you end up also, it's good, yes, but you end up training the same youth that are being trained by everyone else. So maybe in a way, I know you've talked about women. Some women are also not part of these youth groups. So you start already disqualifying people from these kind of groups. So work very well in terms of the district. Yes, the DYO might know the youth clubs, but there are others maybe that are known by the agribusiness officers at agricultural level. So in terms of presenting at the district level, get to a point where you're not only getting youth from the ones that are known by the DYOs, but also the community development officers also know youth that can be trained in that sense. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for the comments. I think my colleagues have noted them. Any other comment or question? All right. I think this one will be the last comment because of time.
Mine is actually not a comment, it's just a question for clarification. The last slide, in terms of the targets, you have quite a lot of numbers. So you started with 10,000, and then you have a few underneath. So are those underneath part of that 10,000, or are they separate?
So for all other numbers, they are contributing towards the 10,000, yeah. So it's just there to make it more clear of what we want to do. Yeah, so I think there are many comments and I know there are many questions. We still have time during break, maybe during lunch. We can interact and we are all stakeholders. We are all going to contribute towards this. So if there are still more comments, more questions, I think almost everyone here has my number or my email. Let's talk, let's engage, and let's collaborate. Because this is not a one-man solution. We need solutions from different institutions, from different companies, different people. Some of you have already done it, some of you are doing it, some of you anticipate to do it. So let's work together and have a great impact. Right now, we'll go straight because of time. We'll go straight and just check out some products from some of our institutions that are here. They wanted to showcase their products. I know there are some that maybe have products, but because of time and other logistical challenges that were there, we didn't bring the products, but I think we have 4 companies that want to showcase their products. So we invite almost the whole group. Let's appreciate what our friends doing and what they'll be doing to make sure that we solve this challenge of climate change as well as unemployment. Thank you. Yeah, just because we are in the food security sector, my colleague is reminding me about the healthy break. So we'll have a healthy break just after they have presented their products, after showcasing their products. Then we'll break it, have a healthy break. Then we'll come for the panel discussion. Yeah, so that's how we are going to do. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our booth. This is Tokyo 8 Global, and what we have here is Tokyo 8 Organic Biofertilizer. It is 100% organic. It is made from bacteria. So what is in this bottle is nothing but bacteria. So what it does is, first of all, it works in the soil to restore soil health, restoring soil microbial environment, and also replenishing certain soil elements. It works to also improve soil structure, soil texture, soil aeration. That is the very, very first function that it does in the soil. Good soils will definitely mean that when you plant your seed or your seedling will find a really healthy environment, a good environment, conducive environment for growth and development. So this implies that actually it means that your seed will grow faster, your seeds grow faster, they germinate faster, they're stronger, they're healthier, they also have strong roots to uptake all the nutrients. So Tokyo 8 improves nutrient uptake and intake. It speeds up plant growth. It also improves soil health plant health, as well as improving overall yield. By plant health, I mean that your plants will be more resilient, or they will be more resilient to shocks. Diseases come, your plants are not weak. They will not be susceptible to diseases. Pests come, your plants are also strong. They're naturally strong. So what Tokyo 8 does is it improves your plant's natural ability to fight diseases, pests, even in times of drought, when there's intermittent rainfall. You find that plants that have been used with Tokyo 8 are more resilient. They will not dry easily compared to other crops that are not used with Tokyo 8. I'll ask my colleague to take it up from there if there's any that I've left.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. In addition, this fertilizer, fertilizer is used across all kinds of plants. Talk about maize, talk about legumes, even vegetables. It's not selective. It is used across every plant. And again, it is environmental friendly. What that it means, unlike the pest usage and other inorganic fertilizers, which have a negative feedback on the soils and also on the plants, and of course human health. Once you use these things, there is no repercussion to do with your health. Even if you can get contact with your body, we want to rush to the hospital. It is 100% environmental free. And this is organic by application. What it means, there's no residuals. Even as she already said that, it also reduces the reliance on pest usage. One of the key challenges that we have across the food sector is the food health. There's some studies which says that most of the foods that we eat, most likely the vegetables, there's always a pesticide residues that is always available there, which causes cancer, and women are the most susceptible groups of people vulnerable to pesticide usage. So what this Tokyo comes in as a solution, it helps to mitigate, even to remove the residual effects of pesticides in our plants. So it is a good plus, not only for the use, but also in terms of the food safety as one of the key components in food security. Yeah, thank you.
Is it possible for us maybe to see all the products and come back and maybe ask our colleagues about the questions that we have? Is that fine? Or I mean, which one is better? I'm waiting up. Oh, right?
Thank you so very much for the presentation. I think that is quite clear. I just have one clarification point. I would like to understand how that is applied. I think it's, for most Malawians, it is maybe the first time or maybe a few products that are in fertilizer, but then they are in liquid form. Most farmers are used to the normal fertilizer that we have, and I would like to understand how that is applied directly to the plants, as well as the estimations. For instance, to cover 1 acre of land, how many liters will you need? And what is the methodology of utilizing the very same? So, those kind of questions.
Thank you so much for the presentation. My question is, in Malawi we have this argument where it's said that we apply one type of fertilizer, kind of one size fits all across the country. How does this address that challenge? Is it a fertilizer also that can be applied anywhere in Malawi, Chitipa to Nsanje, Jinji to Potavota, or in terms of the our soil types and performance, what would you say about that? Is it something that anyone can buy from any part of the country? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just want to ask, what's the estimated yield per hectare after applying the amount that is recommended for the crops?
All right, thank you so much. More questions? All right. Okay, thank you so much. In terms of application, so as we are always saying that is in a liquid format, what that means, we do dilution. So we dilute 1 liter of Tokyo 8, we dilute it with water 16 to 20 liters, 16 to 20 liters. What that means, this 5-liter bottle in front of you is able to dilute at least 5 bottles of sprayer. The 60-liter snapback sprayer, the common one which we use. So by that it means when even you apply, we use a sprayer, the sprayers. Of course, I've seen our friends with the drones, we can even use drones, advanced technology, and even we can use water cans, but we 100% recommend usage of sprayers since it's what is always available everywhere. Now, per acre, 1 acre, you need 4 bottles of Tokyo, that is 20 liters, because you apply 4 times. We encourage 4 cycles of application. You always start with Tokyo and finish Tokyo. You apply first at planting or transplanting, if your plants are transplanting, and then 2 to 3 weeks you come again and apply, and 2 to 3 weeks you come again and apply until the 4th time, making 4 applications. So since it's 4 applications, 1 bottle of 5 liters is going to be used for 1 time application. So you need like 4 bottles for your application. Talk about the soil type. Is it a one size fits all formula? Yes, in fact, when it came in Malawi, as you know, the protocol, it is supposed to be tested across all the villages of Malawi. So our friends, the Ministry of Agriculture, did a very fantastic job by doing a research in North here, Chiteze, and also Bumbwe, back in Choro. So the recommendation, it will say that it can fit everywhere. Any kind of soil, talk about loam, talk about lay, even Chitipa, sand, it can fit everywhere. It's not only limited to one type of soil or one type of region. It can be used across all regions of Malawi, and of course even when it comes to all the use. The other question is about estimated yield. All right, now since it's a micro fertilizer, we say that it boosts you with 30%. Okay, it boosts you 30%. If you're using Tokyo fertilizer, you can be guaranteed that it will boost the use with 30%. As she said earlier on, that it is able to shield your plants against climate shocks like drought tolerance, okay, the pest diseases. So because of those kind of benefits, it's able to boost at least your yield with 30%. So we can only give the percent in mind.
I could also add on the yield per hectare. When we did a study with Chitete, they had comparison plots. They had about 70 treatments. And across all the studies in all the regions, they found that when Tokyo 8 was used, I will specify that together with organic manure, with any kind of manure, or half the usual rate of fertilizer, the yield was slightly above our usual yield when we use NPK and urea. So this was uniform seed, uniform soil type, just difference in the treatment. When they added Tokyo 8 to half the usual rate of fertilizer, as well as Tokyo 8 to manure, that is animal manure, they found that the yield of the crop was slightly higher or almost the same, or I would say almost the same or slightly higher than usual NPK plus urea dose. That was to give you a picture. But also, when now farmers have used the Tokyo 8 and different treatments, they would testify across many countries in all over Africa, even in Japan, they will testify that their yield has been increased by what I say 30%, and their cost has been reduced by 40 to 50%. So we're reducing yield, we're reducing cost by 40 to 50%, whilst increasing yield by 30%. Thank you very much.
So what's the cost of this fertilizer per liter, and where can we access this fertilizer? Is it throughout the country and throughout the regions?
Thank you so much. As I earlier once stated that this is one of the solutions that is going to improve the production as well as productivity of crops in Malawi. So this is a good job and a good initiative. But I just wanted to find out from you, you said that the composition is only bacteria, there are no nutrient composition of these other nutrient elements. Okay. And also you talked about that this fertilizer also improves the soil structure. I just wanted to learn from you, how does it improve the soil structure? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for those two questions. The first one, in terms of how we can assess us and the pricing. So, Tokyo 8 comes in 5 liter packages, as you can see in front. So this package is going at 20,000 watts. 20,000 watts. We only produce country at 20,000 at the factory because we are the co-manufacturers. But our distributors across the country, like in North, they sell at 25,000. But as the factory guys, we sell at 20,000 watts per 5 liter bottle. In terms of accessing us, right here in Lilongwe, you can access us. We have, of course, a number of distributors as well. I should highlight more on the distributors whom you can in the contact. Talking about soil structure and the microbes. Earlier on, she pointed out that it is 100% a microorganism-based fertilizer. But what that means, it contains at least 1,500 families of species of bacteria and lange, which they do a lot of functions. Now, when we say that these soils, they are in a good health status, it means the microbes are in abundance. So what this microbes does, the first thing which it does, they lose the compaction of the soils. So the soils are in Malawi because I'll use the example of Malawi, because we use inorganic fertilizer. So inorganic fertilizer, it has a way of killing these microbes. Now when killing it, the soils, they form clumps. Now what this does, the microbes, once we put in the soils, number one, it improves the structure by releasing the clumps, making sure that your soils, they are smooth. And by that, allowing good penetration of your roots. So it does mighty when it comes to root improvement. And number two, because these are microbes, they facilitate higher levels of decomposition. As we know from our agriculture studies, we are taught that when the leaves or the organic matters in the soils, when they die, they decompose and then in turn they make nutrients. But the level of decomposition in the soils where the microbes are less is not that high. It's very dragging or very slow. So what this microbe does, it facilitates higher levels of decomposition of these organic amendments in the soil, by that improving the structure of the soils. I guess I'm answering. Yes, in terms of that, we apply both the soils and also the foliar, because earlier on she said that it also helps in the plant resistance against the diseases. So the microbes, they form a microbiota to fight against diseases. Yeah, so we apply two-way. Yeah, thank you.
I think we can take two more questions. There's one here.
All right, on the direction for use, whenever we are using other foliar fertilizers, we are advised to apply early in the morning and late in the evening. What about your fertilizer on that one? And it may happen that maybe you have applied and then rains come before maybe 2 hours. Can it still be effective?
Thank you. I think a lot has been said already, and I think it's a very effective fertilizer so far from what I've heard. But the question is, adoption of these things sometimes are more behavioral than just the technology itself. It can work scientifically, but it cannot be adopted because there are so many barriers. A lot of people are used to using fertilizer that's in grain form. Which is a different approach if you're using this type of fertilizer. Because this is liquid form, it means there has to be a way of how people can apply it, and if it's a complicated process, it makes adoption of that initiative not go up. I mean, it can scientifically make sense, but if people are not using it, what's the point? So my question is, what are you doing in terms of awareness or behavior change in the way that people can utilize that fertilizer.
Right. Thank you so much. Begin with you, my brother. In terms of application time, yes, like the way we do the other conventional things, we also apply early in the morning or late in the night, or when at least the weather is cloudy. The reason is we just want to reduce evapotranspiration, something like that. Because these summer crops, we want to give them adequate time to penetrate the soils using the media of the water, and also to penetrate your leaf surfaces. So you need some time. And when rain comes after 2 hours, you're good to go. If I go say that 10 minutes after application, the microbes have already penetrated, and then you can rest assured that it's all good. In terms of campaign and behavior changes, this is difficult to change. Yes, one of the strategies that we use, we do awareness campaigns. So what we do, our major strategy, because we are targeting smallholder farmers, since we know that Africa is composed 60% of smallholder farmers, and they're the ones which are heavy struck with the price of the fertilizer. So what we do, we go to the villages, we organize farmers, they come, and then we orient them. We tell them about our product, how it works, and also how they can use. In terms of usage, it's not that complicated. It's just a sprayer, you dilute, and then off you go. So since the farmers are even used applying excessive pesticides, it's not cumbersome for them to use it. So we are doing our best to reach out to more farmers before we sell them. So we tell them about our product, how to use it, and then we sell them if they're interested. Yeah.
So this is why we also invited them, and this is why they're going to be part of this program. Because once the technology has been approved like this, and I think I said it earlier in my presentation, that AFAP's work is in markets development, and they need their markets to be developed. So a lot of our support under the YAGA project is going to be precisely that, getting smallholder farmers to adopt by getting youth to work for Tokyo 8, either as interns, either as community agribusiness advisors, but also earn something from distributing, from running demonstration plots, product demos, and so forth. So I'm now wearing a Tokyo 8 t-shirt.
Let's go maybe to the, yeah.
Hi everyone. So I'm Rachel Kaunta. I am a drone pilot, and I'm also the founder of DroneLink. So at DroneLink, we are using drones to support farmers in monitoring their plant health for pest and disease control. So we fly drones in farms, and we're able to see if the plants are attacked by pests and also diseases. We're able to offer them advice so that they can do an intervention of the plants that have been affected. As you know that in Malawi, we have a lot of farmers that have problems with pests and diseases. They end up losing their yields because they can't physically monitor each and every plant. So with drones, we're able to monitor the plants, each and every plant, using drones, and we're able to see if they are attacked by pests and also diseases. So this is also an image of one farm that we were able to monitor using drones. As you can see, this is a cabbage. It's a cabbage farm, and as you can see that the green cabbage is looking healthy. But as you go towards this side, you can see that the cabbage is not growing as healthy as it's supposed to because of weeds. So we're able to advise this farmer that they need to take care of that side that is infested with weeds, because now the cabbages are not growing as they should, and they are ending up losing their produce from that. So with drones, we're able to, it's like a bird's eye view. We're able to view everything that a farmer cannot physically move and check in their field. And this is the 2 hectares of cabbage. Yeah. And as you can see, this is the yellow means the weeds that have affected their cabbage. And it affected pretty much a large part of their farm, and we're able to see that and advise them to do an intervention on that.
So we have another service line whereby we provide digital solutions. We do apps and softwares for organizations. We provide them with, we build the softwares from scratch, and we also advise them on the best solutions for digital solutions for their organizations. So my team is composed of drone pilots, GIS analysts. We don't just collect the data, but we also interpret the data for them to know what is happening on their farm. So my GIS team will explain what they do. Thank you.
First of all, the drone team, they are very fast, so they go to the field, they take the images. Once they do that, they bring the images to us. Here. So after field operations, we end up with an image like this. This one is an orthomosaic. So an orthomosaic is a composition of various images, drone images that have been stitched together to make a complete image like this one. So as you can see, you have your crops and the total hectarage. And from here is where we now start to do the processing. We process the actual image to so apart from what she said on monitoring and identifying base areas that are the best state or the areas that have weeds, we also do what we call plant health analysis. So for the same farm, we also do the health analysis. So this analysis is able to tell us that on the field, which plants are healthy and which plants are not healthy. So we use the analysis to advise farmers to which areas need special attention in terms of maybe fertilizer application or weeding. So with the healthy status of plants, we also advise farmers on crop yield estimations, because on a farm like this one, so a farmer is able to tell that, okay, on my 2 hectares farm, how many crops are healthy and the expected, like you have which plants are healthy and which plants are not, and which areas are expected to produce more yield than compared to others. So as you can see on this farm, on this other side, you can see that there's a lot of green plants as compared to the other side, which is attacked by weeds, as you saw in the previous image. So I should also show you the legend. So as you can see on the legend, we're showing areas that are bare ground, areas that are affected by weeds, as shown by yellow here. So all areas that are shown in yellow here represents areas that have weeds, and light green represents all plants that are healthy but not so healthy. The health is limited, and the green part shows the cabbages or the plants that are healthy and which is the optimal result of what you want on your farm. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll just explain the process that we do. So firstly, if the client approaches us, we go to the farm and then we look at the farm. It doesn't matter how big the farm is, we're able to do it. So we create a flight plan in the remote controller. So when you create a flight plan, and then we deploy the drone, which covers the whole area, maps the whole area. And then it actually captures single images. So from each and every spot. For example, maybe it's a 5 hectares land, and then you have a lot of like 10,000 images. So after that, we go back and then we actually process the data. We have different softwares that we use. So we actually process it in order to produce the orthomosaic that they showed at first. So it's more like the single pictures are then stitched together to produce one single image. And then from the images, that's when we start the different analysis that we come up with, depending things that we can advise our customers or our farmers on what to do. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Of course, we have a software developing team, but yeah, we will leave it for now. Are there any questions?
I know we have a lot of questions. I think we'll ask them during the healthy break. We go maybe, let's say, 2 more presenters. Then after that, we take our tea. As you take your tea, I think you can as well ask them because of time. Yeah. Sorry. My name is Emmanuel Tugla from E&D Investment. E&D Investment is a company that is offering sustainable post-harvest management solutions and value addition equipment. What we are doing, what you see now is a solar, post-conversion solar dryer. Over 30 to 40% of food products are lost before they reach the market. Over 30 to 40% of food products are lost before they reach the market. You can agree with me that fruits and vegetables is a big problem here in Malawi. So this is a first conventional solar dryer that farmers can use to dry their products while maintaining the quality, increasing food security, and enhancing value addition. You can use solar dryer to dry many products. For example, mushrooms, potatoes, mangoes, and whatnot. We can even export our products to other countries. So, drying facilities in Malawi has been a challenge, especially in this region. So this dryer has this panel, a solar panel, as you can see, and it has blowers. I think because of the sunlight, the blowers cannot work, but it has the blowers. The purpose of the blowers is that they should be removing moisture from the product. I think in biology we know that fresh products respire, they release energy. So in the process of releasing energy, if the products are in this cabinet and the energy is not going outside, there will be spoilage or contamination, or whatever we can call it. So the purpose of the blowers is to remove the moisture from the product. Hence, the product is dried. It's not necessarily that the sun should dry the product, but the moisture should be removed. I think some of you tried to wash your clothes during the night, but in the morning you find that your shirt is what? It's dried, right? So the purpose is to remove the moisture from the product. Now, the issue is not only about reducing post-harvest losses. Food waste and food loss contributes to over 8-10% of greenhouse gas emissions, which is methane and is very dangerous. So that's globally or annually. So you can see if there's another major factor which is affecting our climate, it's food waste and food loss. So as farmers are increasing their productivity through reducing post-harvest losses, we as country or as people, we are also working towards giving health to our climate.
So we're not only talking about hunger, we're talking about the health of the planet as well. So as I said, you can try a lot of products. You can try even fish. You can agree with me, like this Dennis said. Smallholder fish farmers, it's a challenge to dry their fish. You talk of meat, you can even dry. You can dry spices and whatnot. So this is a challenge which has been there here in Malawi. Post-harvest loss is a big challenge, and we need to take an action through collaboration and whatever we can do it to make sure that farmers are increasing their productivity. I don't know if there's any question. We are located in Longwe, Malangalanga. So if anybody wants to check our services or work with us, you can come and visit our services. Thank you. If you have questions, you are welcome. Yes, yes. 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 I will show you one of the clips that we did. We did an experiment. Actually, our first experiment we did tomato, and I'll share the video with you. We maintain the quality, the color, and whatnot. So tomato is a highly moisture content product. So if you manage to do that, you can do any product. Onion, you can try your onion. Onion, even the color of the onion doesn't change. It's you who know that this is dried what? Onion. You can talk of okra and whatnot. So this is a challenge, but we're going to do it. All right. Okay, thank you. Good question. Actually, drying process using the solar dryer takes about 4 days. It's different from direct sunlight because sunlight takes over 7 or 10 days because the solar dryer increases temperature over 65 degrees Celsius. So that's a good temperature that a product can dry fast. So also the drying process period also depends on surface area of the product. For example, if you are drying tomato, we need to make sure that the slices that we're making should be able to dry fast. We should also consider the type of the product that we are drying, because onion cannot dry fast as a tomato, right? So these are factors that affect drying period, but you can dry anything. This what you see, for example, this one is lemon powder. It's a lemon powder that we dry lemon, and you can agree with me that there was a time, there are times when we can't even access lemons